Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal, a production channel here at YouTube, and welcome to another Friday review. And today I am finally getting around to reviewing Man-Made, the third executive EP from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania Thrasher's Cruel Bomb, which was released by the band on January 7th of this year. So without further ado, let me get into my thoughts, since obviously this was sent to me by the band to review. Since again, they were on at least plenty of times on a lot of the Soul Grinder zine comps and splits and whatnot. So without further ado, let me get into my thoughts on Man-Made by Cruel Bomb. Okay, so before I really get into any of my thoughts on this EP by Cruel Bomb, you know what I have to do. I have to do a track listing rundown so I can tell you folks what are the songs are on this EP, how many songs are on this EP, and what is the time length for this EP. Since we have at least about 5 songs here, it all clocks in at the length of 14 minutes and 28 seconds. So these 5 songs are Keystone Mosh, Dogs of War, Bomb Squad, Stronger Than Yesterday, and then finally ending with 810. So there you go. There's your 5 songs, and wow, this is their third executive EP because of this follows, of course, their first 2 EPs. Our first one again was Manhattan Mischief, which was released back in 2019. Then of course the year later they followed it with Trinity Terror, and finally here we are with Man-Made. And if you've been at least somewhat familiar with Cruel Bomb, then you know what to expect. At least for most of these 5 songs, it is just straight up, just no bullshit, foot to the pedal, full throttle, in your face, pummeling thrash metal. That's what it is. And a lot of these fucking pummeling thrashers have one goal in mind, and that is, well, not to let off the fucking gas pedal. And that's the best way I can really can just describe it. But they do it in such a way that comes across very sincere, though, I guess you say that, because of it just comes off with a lot of attitude. You can tell that these guys definitely enjoy playing this brand of thrash metal. But I think compared to some of the more previous stuff that they have released, this is I think where they're starting to really even more perfect their brand of thrash metal, because of the writing and the overall performance on this EP. I think are even more tighter than I think compared to some of the more previous 2 EPs, at least the stuff that I've heard. Again, that were peppered around on the Soul Grinder zine splits and comps. Everything just sounds a lot more tighter on here. They really are starting to sharpening a lot of their axes on here. They're musically, even production-wise, everything sounds even more clear. Everything's got a nice crunch to it. It just sounds a lot more, slightly more mature effort in a way, because there again, while again you've got plenty of your just fast brand of thrashers, like for example the 51-second track, which is Keystone Mosh, which is more of an instrumental, but it's again though it's only one where you kind of get the idea anyways, just from the title alone on what the song is about anyway, since it's only 51 seconds. It stays true to its title, because it really only serves as more of a kind of a introduction, almost like a marching introduction at times into the track Dogs of War. And from there, that's when you pretty much you know what you're getting in for, and it's just again just full throttle, and but it just comes off very, again, the attitude from these guys, the ferociousness, everything comes across. It's just just really good brand of modern thrash metal, and it's really great. But again, even going into songs like Bomb Squad, there you know that they seem to really perfecting the sort of at least their brand of thrash, and I think the maturity is really starting to show in, and it really does show more so on the song Stronger Than Yesterday. This is the only one that really kind of, the pacing is kind of changed up here. It's a little more mid-paced at times, but it still has a very nice crunchy riff to it. It does have a hook to it as well. It really is a solid song all of its own. Again, you can make your comparisons to at least the Zetro era Exodus and whatnot, but still, I think this is one of the better examples of them really kind of tackling that style, but doing it great without sounding like a bunch of copycats. And I think it just shines on songs like this. And of course, it ends again with the balls out Thrasher like an A10. Really, there's nothing on this EP that I find to be bad at all. It's all enjoyable. There's nothing terrible. It's a 5-track EP, perfect length anyways. It's just, I mean, though probably a little too short at times, because again, the minute this EP goes on and the more it gets great, it ends before you know it. And that's probably the only knock I can give it, because of it just, it ends up ending a little too short, because if you want to, I would want more from this EP, but that's what it is. It's an EP, and the band at this point from the interviews that at least I have read on these guys about, or at least what I've read, they obviously have told or have said many times that they don't really feel like doing a lot of full-length albums. They just prefer to do EPs. I guess because then it just comes along that I guess some goofy individual or somebody can just take these 3 EPs, put on one disc, and then throw it in their car or something, I guess, if they still got vehicles with CD players in them, or again, for example, too, streaming, or even SD cards or whatnot, since most cars seem to take USB sticks and whatnot, and you can make files or make folders, music folders, and just combine every one of these songs together, and you can just listen to it as one these days. Either way, if that's their intention, it's not a bad intention. But again, preferring to own this stuff physically is always the best thing. So as EPs, again, if you want more, you're going to have to almost get all 3 of them. You can listen to them, each by each. But I can just tell from this EP right here, I think the overall, the musicianship, the songwriting, and the overall, just again, everything just being more so tighter on here is going to get even more tighter with even more subsequent releases. Because again, they're just becoming a straight up great band, and obviously are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And this is a really solid thrash metal EP from beginning to end, and I really enjoy it. So there we go. There it is, folks. There's my overall thoughts and opinions on Man-Made from Cool Bomb. And my rating for this EP is, well, since I've got written down, is a 8.85 out of 10. And again, I think it's a really solid. Again, the reason I probably give it an 8.85 out of 10 was because of, again, I wish it was a little bit longer. But you know what? I think it gets the job done. It gets the point around. You know what these guys are about. And I think that they're going to really continue to showing you what they are about in subsequent releases. So there we go. If this really sounds like something you want to really check out and want to at least support, I'm going to leave you a link to their Bandcamp page where they at least are selling copies of this via there. So again, if you want to get yourself a copy of this, go to their Bandcamp page. It will be in the description box. The link will be there. There we go. Hope all of you enjoyed. Thank you to Grubomb for sending this out to me. Hope all of you enjoyed. This is Thrasher saying I'm out. And I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.